Hello there. Welcome back to EMS Grade 9. In this video, I want to look at a match test, a typical question. We are going to look at a question on economic systems. That is our economic question 2. And then we're going to start on 2.1, which is define the term economic problem. But economic problem is a situation that we have where we have unlimited needs and wants, but being having limited resources in the economy. So if we have such a scenario, we say there is economic problem. Basically, this is the challenge of how to best use limited resources to meet unlimited wants and needs. So you see that this is a fundamental problem, and it is also known as a scarcity. So going to our answer section, we have that brief description in terms of economic problem, where it is how to satisfy unlimited wants with limited resources. So this is the explanation or response that we have according to 2.1. Then go to the next part of represented by picture 2.2.1 and picture 2.2.2. So we have our pictures whereby on the first picture, 2.2.1, we are having a fly fishing, a frontier fly fishing, and then we have got a shop, a picture of a shop that you are seeing there. And remember, we have to identify which economic system is that, according to the question. So going to our picture, you see that this is indicating private ownership of a business. So obviously, this becomes the market economy, the market economic system. So basically, or the free market economic system. So we are indicating 2.2.1 as the free market economic system. Then we go to 2.2.2. We are seeing a picture of guns. And beneath that, we are seeing someone on top, a man on top, appearing beneath. So basically, this now represents a command economy. So basically, we are saying on the first part, we have the free market economy, and on the second part, we've got the planned economy. For 2.2.2, we have got market economy. 2.2.2, the other one is planned. So the plant economy is the second picture that we are having there. This is the plant, and this is the market economy. So basically, that's what we have according to our pictures. Then we can go to see in terms of the next question that we have, which reads, list what characteristics of a market economy. But basically, under market economy, we know that there is private ownership of resources being factors of production. So factors of production are owned by private individuals, which is opposed to when in a command economy whereby resources are owned by the government. So basically, it becomes one of the basic characteristics that you can mention, but we have them listed on the answer section whereby we are saying private individuals own and control the factors of production, which factors of production representing our resources. And then secondly, entrepreneurs decide what to produce, and also entrepreneurs decide how production will take place, consume. So basically, you see that you can just pick one from this, because our question is only looking for one characteristic. Then 2.4, discuss two disadvantages of a plant economy. So basically, one disadvantage that we can easily deduce is that there's no freedom of choice in terms of the consumers. From the consumer point of view, our choice is limited because we have got only one producer, which is the government. So basically, we can just deduce that one. Then we have various disadvantages of a planned economy that we are having here listed. So we are saying on the first one is saying people do not have choices, limited choices, and then when people earn the same amount, whether they work hard or if they are lazy. So I remember the amount that is paid is not a piece related as in number of units produced, but they are paid in terms of time spent on the job. So basically, that's what the statement is trying to illustrate. Then we go to the next one. Productivity is often low because businesses do not aim to make profit. So the main motive is not to make profit, but for service delivery. That's what we have under command economy. Then the last one, there is a limited range of products because there is no competition. So the markets are not competitive, and we do not have competition in under the command economy. So basically, that's what we have. Then we go to the next part of our question, which is explain why mixed economies were formed. So this question leads us to explain why mixed economies were formed, but we can just start by defining what are mixed economies. Remember, mixed economies, that's an economic system whereby it has both characteristics of a market economy and a command economy. Basically, it's a combination of the market economy and the command economy. So they were formed because they want to try to close the gap in terms of the weaknesses that are there under the market economy, and also they close the gaps also under command economy. So the issue is having a market economy, it will close the gaps in terms of the weaknesses that are there in the command economy. Then the command economy also will close the gap in terms of the weaknesses of the weaknesses of the market economy. So basically, that's the scenario that we have. So we have that also articulated in our answer section, whereby it reads mixed economies were formed to solve the problems associated with the free market and centrally planned economic system. So basically, that's what we have. And then next question, which is now 2 points. The next question, but you see that on the next question, we have we have information that we are given before the question, which is globalization has led to the creation of a global economy in which the economic activity of different countries affects one another. So on the first part, discuss one problem linked to global economy. So global economy, obviously, we are saying whenever we have a global economy, we are saying economies of different nations are interacting. They are selling goods and services between each other. So that's the situation where we're having a global economy. So what problem can we deduce from that? Is that it negatively affects the developing countries or struggling companies and struggling economies, because you'd see that the products that are being produced by small firms in developing nations are going to compete with foreign companies that are in developed countries. So it becomes a disadvantage of small businesses that are in developing countries. So that's what we have. It becomes a risk because those are small businesses in developing countries might even close down due to the competition that they are facing or the foreign competition that they are facing. So 2.6, we see now how it is articulated in our answer section. We see that free trade in goods and services could make it difficult for producers in developing countries to compete with producers in developed countries. So that's the first point that we have. And then the second point, the free movement of labor can cause skilled workers from developing countries to move to more developed countries in search of higher wages. So this is a situation of brain drain, whereby skilled workers migrate to countries where they can earn more. So basically, it becomes a problem to developing countries. So on the last part of our question, 2.7 is saying in a planned economy, the debt takes full responsibility for solving the economic problem. So you see that in a planned economy, the government takes full responsibility for solving the economic problem. So here we have the government. So the government is the one which takes full responsibility for solving the economic problem. So this becomes the last question that we have according to our question. That is question 2. Thank you for listening. Multiple examination questions are going to be uploaded on this channel. So let's get notified. Let's meet again in the next video. Yes, for this video, I'm signing out.